Okay, today we are making a key to a Chevy Corsica. This is going to require that we remove the steering wheel to get this lock out. It's quite a drawn out process. Right now we're working on getting the airbag removed.
That's a scary thought.
Yes, it is.
Have you ever had one come, like, say hello to you?
Don't even want to think of what that would be like.
I don't want to think of it either.
But to this point in time, the answer to that question would be no. We have not. Now that is a bad angle that we were trying to deal with here. And it probably will remain a bad angle. We've got a smaller ratchet. Doesn't appear to be. Maybe. Okay, we've removed 4 screws from behind, and now the airbag should come off right here. Okay, with this we will take this yellow wire and remove it. We're gonna pop this green tab out.
I think I'm at the wrong angle, but you keep doing what you're
Quite
doing.
all right. And then the airbag is released. We'll set this out here for safety purposes.
What was that?
And we'll set that there on the floor.
With the other screws, huh?
At this point, we'll disconnect. This is the horn connection. And then we'll take our pull bar here and put on this. And we will loosen this up. This is the actual bolt that holds the steering wheel on. As you can see though, generally this wheel is another screw. We got that one there. Okay.
It's like a ride at the ride.
I had a gentleman that I used to work for that would grab a hold of that steering wheel and just shake every living daylights out of it till he got it loose. I've had that happen for me maybe one time. So I wouldn't recommend it. That's why we carry steering wheel pullers. Now, I'll put this back on just loosely to protect the threads on the column. And then we'll run these in. They've conveniently put little bolt holes there so that we can attach the steering wheel puller. Now somewhere in here, there we go. I've got an adjustable wrench that we'll use to snug those up with.
Okay.
And strangely enough, I'm using the wrong threaded screw. So let's grab the right one and see if we can make it work. Maybe work a little better with the right one on this side. Yes, that's much better. Imagine that. Okay, again, we'll run these in so far. Okay, that's probably good enough. Now we'll snug down. Let's see, let's do a couple more turns here. All right. And we'll start to wind this down. There was no shaking to get that one off. I can guarantee you that. As tight as that was not going to be taken off any other way but with a puller. And once we do this, we can put this puller away. We will not need it again. There's one out. And there's the other. Set that back in the box. Now we'll take that nut off right here. And the only thing we have to worry about at this point is fishing this through here. And we'll lay the steering wheel outside the car as well. Now I need snap ring pliers, because we got a snap ring that is holding another part of the airbag module on. So, and it's not my favorite pair of snap ring pliers. So we'll work at it here for a minute. If it don't work, we'll go grab a different pair that I feel, oh no, there we go. We got it. Sweet. This has a couple slots in it, and you want to, when you're putting it back, you want this hump right here to go in the center of here. So we can take this, pull it straight out, and turn it over and drop it down. Now we've got a spring clip down here on the lock plate. You ever wonder how your steering wheel locks? This is the mechanism right here. This bolt right here, when you turn the key, this right here, locks in one of these slots all the way around it. Okay, that bolt right there. Here again, that's our horn connection. Okay, so to remove that, we take this tool here. Now that's compressed on there with a spring, and then it uses a spring clip to hold the lock plate down. So we have to take the pressure off of it with this tool. And then I will utilize 2 screwdrivers. I can see a gap in this spring clip right here. So I'll put back pressure on it right there. And most of the time you do not want to work around this piece, because you can easily break that. So we'll get it up at a different location here and see if we can pry that thing out. Easier said than done. This is why there's people who say, oh, but my car is really old, it shouldn't be hard to make a key to. No, this is how we used to have to do all of them practically, it seems like. And now we've got other tools that make the jobs easier, but it does not change how we did the old GMs. They're still, we have to do this. If you got a GM and it's got a key that's only cut on one side, here's the process. Unless sometimes, but not in this case, you can read the lock and actually see numbers on the wafers, but this one does not have that. I'm determined to break that yellow piece.
You haven't done it yet.
I'm trying my best to do it.
Don't say that. Just take your time.
Because you get it over the initial hump, and then you got one more spot. That's where that snap ring went around at earlier. Okay, but so this ring right here will get trapped in that spot as well, and cause us problems. There it is.
And you didn't break it.
It is free. Now we can release this pressure here. And you want to back back it out all the way till you have freedom of movement there, because if you tried to unscrew this and you still had pressure, the thing probably shoot off and bust out a tooth or something. Just go pow. At this point, we can grab both of these and just keep them together. We'll set them up here. Now, we want to get this out of our way. So I'll use a Torx screwdriver here. And naturally, I got the wrong size on there. Looks like it probably needs to be a 20. Let's see if I was right about that. Yes. So we'll back that out. Everything's rounded on this dash, so a lot of times I'll use up here as a shelf. Works fine for this, but like little screws and all, probably should put over there. This too should come out of my way, but I see somebody at some point has put a tie wrap. I couldn't come up with the word there. Somebody put a tie wrap on that, so that ain't going nowhere. So we got 3 more screws to take out here. One over here is about at the 2 o'clock position. Another good thing probably to have with these, some kind of magnet, so you can kind of, well, I'm missing a part of it. That's all right. This is the most important part. So you grab it instead of risking dropping it down in here somewhere. So we'll put these over here as well. And we got one more to take out. Now these are Phillips head. That one's loose, so once again the magnet, and there we got it. All right, now at this point we will try to maneuver. Oh nope, look, I'm about to forget a part here. We gotta take this off. Look at that, you pop that up and surprise, there's a screw down in there. Something smaller. We make that work. Still, it's too big. Let's go with this right here. Like I said, used to do these almost on a daily basis. It's been a while since I've run into one, so this is not something you want to speed through and forget something. So, okay, I think we're about there. We go. So we'll take that whole assembly there. We even clip it back down to help keep that screw with it. Now, with that being done, should be able to reach in here. Still need to kind of get this out of my way a little bit. Tearing into a tie wrap there here in a minute. Oh, that might be all I need there. Here we go. Okay, and the wires, they've got some slack in them, so they'll allow us to bring it out so far. And then we kind of get it out of our way. Now at that point, we've got the key buzzer switch that's covering our retaining screw that holds the lock cylinder in. So I kind of got behind it with the flathead screwdriver and I've pulled it out, and here it is right here. That's the key buzzer switch. Again, we've got a Torx head screw right here. We'll insert here and we will loosen that. At that point, again, we'll see if the magnet will grab it at this point. Yes, and there's our retaining screw that holds this in. Now with that out, now we can just grab this lock and we can slowly wiggle it out, and voila, there it is. And we've got a key code on here. So
hold still. I had it for a second and you got it. 00K1.
Yep. So we are going to pause the video. Okay, when we get these locks out that's got the gears on them, they need a little extra length on the blade of the key, and this translates to, this is a B77 or a P1098 EV. So there's the key. There it is turning. Now we can gently slide this back in. Okay. Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Okay. So then we just go in reverse order and we start putting everything back together. Starting with the retainer that holds our lock cylinder in. Tighten that retainer screw back down. Okay. Then we take our key buzzer switch and we press it back into place. I think it works better, yes, with the key out. Okay. So that's good. Now we're going to maneuver this piece right back here. This is actually like the turn signal assembly. I don't know if you can tell how that works. I don't even know if I could make it. Well, we'll worry about that when we get it back in.
Just worry about putting it back together.
Right. Okay, that works out well there. Grab. Should have 3 of these over here. We do. Okay. Grab my Phillips head. And we'll put these back into place. And our part of the wiring harness that connects to all this has some play in it, so it's enough to slide that in and out with without doing any damage. Okay, we'll drop that in. Got the 3rd screw here. There it is. I'm going to cross thread it. All right, now, as I'm putting this back in, my wife's pointing out to me about the turn signal. I mean the emergency flasher, but I know about that. It just did. I'm not putting it back in the exact order that it came out, but trying to see where I laid my Torx wrench. Pause it. I found it. It was sitting in my lap. Go figure. Okay. Now with this, as you're reattaching the turn signal arm, you got to be careful because it also operates the high and low beams. And so you want to make sure that it's functioning properly before you put everything back together. Would not be a good day to get it all back together and then the customer would call and say, oh, my high beam and low beam switch ain't working. So we like to put this back in. Okay, first that's nice and smooth. course, there's always the question too, did it ever work?
I was going to ask, did it work before?
I should have checked it before.
We should have asked.
It's in the right spot. So, I can see it. There's a little white.
Is that what the the tie was for?
Well, it was attached to part of that, so it could have had something to do with that. I see it's functioning in this manner, but it's not clicking and staying. But I can actually see in there that it's moving as it's supposed to. So more than likely there was a problem there. And like I said, I'm seeing that tie wrap in there. But everything's lined up the way it's supposed to be.
Is the tie wrap where it was before?
Oh yeah, I did not remove that.
All right, well.
Just for kicks and giggles, I am going to reach back in there with my screwdriver and just see if it goes back any further than. Okay, high beam's on. High beam is off. High beam's on. High beam's off. Let's say that there's probably not a. Okay, now we got our lock plate to put back on. And it actually has a wide cutout. You may not be able to see this, but there's teeth all the way around, and then there's one section where it's wide. And the same.
Put it back. You moved it.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a wide section on the shaft here as well, and so you want to make sure that you line that up in the proper space. I've seen people who have forced them on in the wrong place, and it just.
Are you putting that lovely thing back on that was so hard to take off?
I am. And see, it'll go down here again, and it'll want to get stuck in where the other snap ring goes. But we're gonna work here and see if we can't get that thing beyond that point, which we have. Okay, now again, at this point, some people might. I don't possess the strength to push this down to get that ring to drop into place. So once again, I pull out this tool here, lock plate removal tool. I guess that's what it's called. I don't know. I've had it for years. But I'm basically pushing that lock plate against the spring until I can see the place where that retainer goes. Okay, there's enough space right there. So now I'll just take my screwdriver again and I'll just push this ring till it snaps into its spot. There it went. Now at this point, we can do this again. And we reach a certain point, and the lock plate is in place. Now I know through experience, and I'm sure it's got its purpose, but there's usually a flat washer that fits here before this goes on, but somebody obviously had been in here before and taken that out and did not put it back. So I cannot put back what is not here to begin with. So we'll leave it out. It's like a spring washer. And again, my wife is pointing at the emergency flasher knob. She's concerned that I'm going to forget that, but As long as she's sitting here, I doubt that would happen. Highly unlikely, since she's only pointed it out two or three times.
Twice. I pointed out twice.
Okay. For her sake. I'm going to pop that lid up again. And it fits real nice, like right there. But it helps if you tighten down the screws. So I will grab a little snub nose screwdriver here, so I got a little more space to work above. And then we'll try to get this in here. Tighten it back in. I wouldn't have thought that screw was that long. There we go. And then we snap that back down. And there, your flashers are working.
Thank you. Yes, they are.
Are you happy?
I'm happy.
Okay, good. Now, we'll grab the steering wheel. And once again, we got a mark right here. A little, might be hard for you to see on camera, but there's a mark right here representing the center. And then there's a mark right here representing the center. So I want to feed this through here.
Oh, let me get back so they can see you do it.
Okay. And then I'm going to do my best to... Oh, and this is perfect. It just... Voila. Went right in.
Cool,
no
thanks.
issues whatsoever. Then we'll take this big old bolt right here, put it back down here. And I'll grab my pull bar again. And we will snug that up. Get it tight enough to where maybe one more time. Right there, looks good. I feel good about that. Now we will take and drop this back in here like it's supposed to go.
Oh.
Might need a little help with the light here. Find my little spacing. It's got a little notch on here that goes down and then twists around just so it'll stay in place, because see, there's a spring on it there. That's a connection that we make. That's there again, that has to do with the horn.
Is the horn gonna start going off?
Shouldn't.
Okay.
Okay. Tuck that away. Now we're going to grab our dangerous part here.
Airbag.
Airbag. See if we can get it to blow up in our face.
Do not do that. Don't even joke.
Okay.
Do not even joke about that. That would not be funny.
Now I think I could be severely hurt if this thing decided, if you took a notion to do something at this point in time. This thing's being stubborn here. There we go. There, did you hear that snap?
I did.
Now we want to put the safety plug back in, which goes right here. Just another part of it to help hold, keep it all in.
Right.
And we'll wrap this back around to this section right there. And then we'll drop her in. And I won't bore you with, but I got to put these 4 screws back in. So we're going to pause the video here. Okay, everything's back together. And the vehicle starts. So this part of it's done. We'll do another, okay, good. Worried me a minute the airbag light was flashing, but that's what it does, and then it goes out. Sort of like a key light. So the airbag light's out, dash is good. Blinkers. Yep. All right. Remember, you can't change the past, so live for today and plan for tomorrow.